Okay. So today I am going to start this groundwater management. Groundwater management actually very broad topic, right? Because it includes most of the things that you have already read about this during the class, right? Because it includes sustainability, it includes field-based analysis, it includes how to understand the first before calculating sustainability of the aquifer. It's very important to understand your aquifer system as well. For example, what is the dimension and how it's a behavior. I mean, what's the behavior? How long water is going to be stay there? What is the velocity? What is the actual path of groundwater? All these things are part of groundwater management, right? So groundwater management means whenever somebody is talking about groundwater management, so you should not think that's a very small thing or this is a limited to a particular sustainability management, or it includes how groundwater is behaving with time. Okay, it includes how recharge and withdrawal both are going to play simultaneously for now as well as for future as well. Okay, it includes sustainability of water resource. For example, sustainability of water resource means you need to plan for sustainability of water resource, right? So it includes recharge. If recharge is not enough for groundwater management, or if groundwater mining is taking place, then you need to plan for artificial recharge as well. Okay, there's a difference between recharge and artificial recharge is that recharge means we are commonly talk about groundwater, uh, uh, I mean, water from the surface water or environmental water that is in the form of rainfall. It's reaching to our water table. Okay, but somehow if that rate is lower than our abstraction rate, okay, then we need to go for artificial recharge. It means we need to plan how we can induce that water, surface water or atmospheric water or rainfall or precipitation to the uh, water table, right? So that is man-made. We need to understand aquifer system first of all. What should be the direction? How we will plan for groundwater recharge in that area. Okay, for example, if it's alluvial plain, that then the case is little bit simple, but also we need to understand if it is an unconfined aquifer or confined aquifer. Okay, so if it is a confined aquifer means deeper aquifer, right? Unconfined aquifers are commonly shallower aquifer that is open to atmosphere, right? So if it is unconfined aquifer, then what should be the rate of recharge? Okay, and if it is a confined aquifer, then how we will plan for recharge, right? So all these things are very crucial and we need to think about that. Without planning, we cannot make this artificial recharge is not possible. For example, if we are planning to propose any artificial recharge scheme in hard rock area, right? So hard rock area, we know it could be limestone, it could be granitic terrain, it could be other basaltic terrain. Okay, so the large area in our country are hard rock. So that is Rajasthan, that is mainly limestone area, and Gujarat, Rajasthan, and you go down, for example, in the southern side, that is granitic terrain. Uh, for example, Telangana, Andhra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all are hard rock areas, right? So if you are planning for groundwater management in hard rock areas, then you need to understand how it is behaving. For example, if weathered formation is there, Then what is the depth of weathered formation, if water is going to stay there for longer time or not, because commonly these hard rock areas are plateau kind of structures, right? So there could be the possibilities that slopes are there, right? So if slopes are there and weathered formation means that is not actually alluvial kind of formation, okay? Particles are larger than that. So permeability, hydraulic permeability or hydraulic conductivity, whatever you are considering there, okay? For commonly weathered area means hydraulic conductivity you will consider. So hydraulic conductivity is commonly higher, okay, and slope is also there. So it means you need to check that it's going to stay for longer time or not. If it's not going to stay, then what should be the direction of flow, where it could be stay, okay? All these things you need to, if weathered area is quite small, okay, very depth is quite small, then you need to understand what is the fractures are there, how and how these fractures are connected, what is the direction where the fractures are connected well, okay? So based on these analysis only you can plan for artificial recharge, right? So this is not a very simple process. So for that you need lots of hydrogeological or geological knowledge. Background knowledge is very important, okay? This is not a very simple concept. So today we will discuss how we can plan for artificial recharge, right? So recharge already we have discussed in the earlier classes, right? Today we will discuss about the artificial recharge, that is man-made induced recharge. so so first of all, when we are talking about um, artificial recharge, right, it means this is a part of groundwater management, right? So groundwater management also covered by some laws, okay? So we need to think, if we are planning for artificial recharge, so water should not go to somewhere, or for example if it's a hard rock area, the fractures are directed in some personal field, right? Then we need to think again, if it's possible to get water from there, or if it's possible to make some well at that location or not. Otherwise it will go for per, personal use only, okay? So lots of investigations are required. So artificial recharge, how we can define artificial recharge? Artificial recharge is the process of induced replenishment of groundwater reservoir by human activities. Human activities is just not like simple activities, it means scientific activities, okay? So we need to induce groundwater. For example, nowadays we know there are lots of road construction, right? Lots of building construction are taking place. So it means we are losing our open land area, okay? So concrete land areas are now increasing very vastly. So it means we are losing the area where natural recharge could take place. So all these things are taking us in a wrong direction, because we are abstraction rate is quite high, increased abstraction rate due to agriculture industry as well as human use, as well as we are decreasing the area for natural recharge. So if this is the trend nowadays, so we need to think about to introduce some surface water or environmental water to our water table, so that should take place, because we know in compared to surface water, groundwater resource is quite high, and people depends on, particularly in India, people depends on groundwater resource only, okay? And we all know this, how important water is, right? So uh, so it is a process, actually man-made induced process, that needs lots of scientific investigation, by which the groundwater is improved at the rate much higher than those under natural condition of percolation, right? So first of all, when we are talking about natural condition of percolation or recharge, it means we are considering there must be some runoff, okay? Surface runoff, there must be some groundwater runoff as well, sorry, subsurface runoff as well, okay? Groundwater runoff will also take place, slowly. So surface runoff and this subsurface runoff, these amounts are commonly very high. Okay, so we need to think about that. For example, if it's a flood area, right? So what happened? Uh, why it is not so useful for us? Because we know these floods are very very harmful for us, we know, but why we don't think about some plan so that this flood water can accumulate in some area? We can consider some um, lowland area so that all this flood water, or we can plan to develop some canal system, right? So that all this flood water could go to some lowland area and their recharge could take place, right? Because most of the times these floods are very common in alluvial plains. Okay, so alluvial plains, benefit of these alluvial plains are that this aquifer system are quite large. Okay, so if we are planning such kind of areas where this using canal all the water can move to that lowland area and store there, and it could go below the surface, okay, then it would be beneficial for a complete large aquifer system. But there are problem because it's looks, or it's, if you're thinking about this, then it seems very very simple procedure, right? But as a hydrogeologist, we what are the problems are there, what are the challenges for that. Okay, as one civil engineer can think like that, okay, we will make canal and it will go somewhere and water will percolate easily. But as a hydrogeologist, we cannot think like that. We need to understand what is the procedure and how, what are the different challenges. For example, whenever we are talking about flood, okay, it means commonly the water having lots of clay material fine with them. So whenever we these flood waters are stored or uh, logged over the area, okay, water logging, it's called water logging. So logging is take place over the area. Then what happened, these small particles get stuck with the soil, okay, and the porosity decreases, very 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 low porosity commonly uh, present there. Okay, so only one hydrogeologist could understand this is the problem. So that is called water clogging, okay, soil clogging, that cementing of the soil. Okay, so this is a natural process. So the problem with that is, this is a problem or big challenge, why this recharge is not taking place during flood very nicely. So if we are planning for such kind of thing, then we need to do some more work to remove this clog material, okay, so that water could go or induce inside the surface of the earth. So there are lots of procedure. It's for layman or who don't have idea of the hydrogeology, artificial recharge and groundwater recharge, everything related to groundwater is very simple for them. But because they don't know what are the challenges, but actually this is not very simple. If really it's very simple, then there should not be any problem of groundwater because there is enough rainfall in our country. And I mean, recharge should be always very good. But this is not the situation. It means there are lots of challenges and we need to face. Okay, so objective for groundwater recharge to maximize the storage, long-term storage, as well as seasonal storage. Okay, water quality improvement. Okay, for example, through dilution. What do you mean by that? For example, if you see in water in Rajasthan area we know, and evapotranspiration or evaporation, Gujarat also, some area of Gujarat, Kutch and all these areas, evapotranspiration and evaporation is quite high. And if you see the groundwater level, that is very very deep, it's about 50 meters up to, okay, such kind of water that is present in a very very deep aquifer systems, right? Commonly their flow rate is also very low because of this overburden pressure, right? That compression take place very high within the formation, so porosity decreases. So the flow rate is quite low, and it stay for a longer time. When water is staying for a very, very longer time, then what is the problem? Because water level is very low, it means the amount of water is very low, as well as it's staying for a very, very long time. It means what? It means it's reacting with the surrounding formation for a long time, right? And the concentration of these minerals and other things are increase. So that's why this become quality of the water become very bad. Okay, the salinity is quite high. If you see the water samples from Rajasthan and Gujarat area, you will find the salinity is quite high. Even if from Haryana, if you see, the unconfined zone aquifer systems are saline. That is not the same reason. If you see the, if we are trying to compare with Haryana sample with Rajasthan sample, that's the cause are completely different. Even in Haryana sample, water sample, you will find there is a very, very high salinity range. Okay. And also in Rajasthan, you will find very, very high salinity range. In Rajasthan, cause is that the water level is very low. Okay. The evapotranspiration rate is quite high. So enough time to react with the surrounding formation. This is the reason why the samples are saline in nature. Whereas in Haryana, you will find that water level are quite high. Okay, it's near to the surface. Okay, and that much of high level of water level, but the quality of water level very bad. That this is because pesticides and insecticides that we are using for agriculture purpose, that is quite high in Haryana, because that is the agriculture land, right? So that amount is quite high in that areas, and this is the reason the water are very saline in that area. Okay, so water quality improvement. So this is one way we can include more amount of water in the aquifer system so that it could dilute and the salinity range could go down. Okay, we need to introduce or induce fresh water. Okay, so that's why in such areas artificial recharge is very important. Preventing saline water intrusion, land subsidence. Saline water intrusion means, for example, if this is a case of uh, coastal area, right? If you see in the coastal areas, then you will find it, this is a hydrostatic, we call it as a hydrostatic balance is there. Okay, because saline water are dense water, whereas fresh water are density is lower. Okay, so what happened, both are not mixing very easily. So commonly this dense water float below the fresh water. Fresh water always over the dense water. Okay, so lens kind of structure you will find near coastal area. Okay, but if this hydrostatic balance is disturbed, if you are pumping very high amount of water from the coastal region, okay, then what happens, slowly that hydrostatic balance will disturb and the pressure of dense water will high in compared to the pressure of fresh water, right? We are abstracting water from aquifer system, is it means we are, the aquifer system is losing its own pressure, hydrostatic pressure. Okay, so if the pressure of fresh water is reduced, then pressure of saline water will, compared to this fresh water, is increased. Okay, so this is a comparative relative analysis. So it get chance to enter into the freshwater zone, right? So preventing saline water intrusion. So artificial recharge is important to preventing saline water intrusion, particularly in coastal area. You will find there is a huge amount of population. Okay, migrant population means that is not going to stay for a longer time, but for just for a few months or particular season. Tourism you can consider as a tourist. Okay, they went there and suddenly pressure increase. Okay, they abstract huge amount of water from this fragile system, right? These are very, very dangerous situation, and so we should take place. Once saline water will intrude, then it will be very difficult to regain the earlier situation. So during particular season, it's very important we should plan for artificial recharge as well. Okay, so that the situation should maintain, particularly in coastal region, like as well as um, areas, for example, island areas, for Lakshadweep, Neil Island, and Hamlet Island, and this Andaman Nicobar main island. All these are very, very fragile. Okay. So next is reducing reduction volume from the river flow. So this is another thing. For example, we know this is big rivers are always recharged from groundwater. Okay, they are well connected. So if groundwater level will go down, then suddenly what happened? River will reduce its water to groundwater, right? And these rivers will dry very, very fast, right? So if you see, there is a lots of river already dried up. Okay, so one reason is that there is a glacier. That should not be we should not consider that one. If you compare from other earlier data, then glacier flow is quite high because of this temperature increase. Great glacier flows are increasing, but the problem with that, this groundwater level is decreasing. So the river water is going, at least for a particular season, dry season, groundwater level goes very, very deep. Okay, for example, in uh, near Ganga area, if you find this Allahabad and Varanasi, all these areas are near Ganga, and during this dry season, when monsoon is not there, uh, June, May, June month, okay, so groundwater abstraction is quite high. They are using for lots of different purposes, and this groundwater level goes down, and so river losing its water for groundwater replenishment. Okay, so if we are not thinking seriously about the situation, then all the river we will lose. So reducing reduction volumes from the river flow, that is also important for ground. Is one very important objective for groundwater recharge. Okay, artificial recharge. Controlling effect of climate change. So climate change is always involved with this effect of climate change. For example, if there is a temperatures increasing, right, evapotranspiration and evaporation, this is a one example, right? Evaporation and evapotranspiration rate is increasing. Okay, so it means this natural recharge is not enough. Okay, so we need to introduce some artificial recharge. Not only that, even if you see the rainfall pattern, you will find there is a changing trend of rainfall as well. Okay, the amount of rainfall is increased, but the time duration of rainfall, that is called intensity, amount of rainfall is increased, but intensity already increased, but this time duration is decreased. It means for a very small time period, a huge amount of rainfall take place. Okay, so that is not good for natural recharge. Okay, the rainfall, if there is a small amount of rainfall but the time is very long, okay, then it's very good for recharge. So runoff is less and percolation will be high. But if time is quite small and the amount is quite high, then what happens? Percolation will take place very, very small amount, and the groundwater will flow of runoff of groundwater from the surface will be very high. Okay, so it means if there is a change, climate change is there, so this natural recharge is not enough. So controlling the effect of climate change, also we need to plan for artificial recharge. Maintaining declining groundwater levels, that is a very important or basic things. Okay, where groundwater levels are declining due to overexploitation, where we will think about this artificial recharge, where substantial part of the aquifer has already been desaturated. Okay, so desaturated means already abstraction took place, groundwater mining is taking place. So for that area, we need to think about artificial recharge. So where availability of water from wells and hand pumps is in a good amount of, if your aquifer system is not good, okay, if it does not have enough pressure, it means you cannot abstract good amount of water from this such wells that is located in that area. Okay, so to maintain such kind of wells, we need to increase the pressure, water pressure within the aquifer system. To maintain the water pressure within the aquifer system, we need to think about artificial recharge. Okay, so these are the main objectives of artificial recharge. So what is the technique? We will discuss about that. Okay, so there is a direct method, indirect method. So within the direct method, surface methods and subsurface method. Indirect method is induced recharge method, aquifer modification method. So indirect method, tomorrow we will discuss about that. Today we will discuss about the direct method. Okay, direct methods means from the surface. For example, how we can collect water from the surface. For example, we know this streams and rivers are present in the surface, so we can plan for recharge of the groundwater from these streams and ponds. And one of the surface recharge method is the ponds. Okay, so if you see in earlier days, we had lots of ponds. Okay, this is the reason why the groundwater level was so good. Okay, was very maintained. So earlier people was much more intelligent, used to be much more intelligent than us. Okay, we think that we are intelligent, we fight with our parents and grandparents and try to show them we are intelligent, but actual fact is that we are not intelligent and they used to be more intelligent than us. Okay, we are reducing ponds, whatever the existing ponds in our city, we are reducing that and we are making buildings, but we don't have idea what is the challenges we will face in future. Okay, that is going to be very big challenges. We will not get, people will, what they will do with these structures and buildings if they will not get water, right? So surface method to enhance groundwater infiltration by providing more residence time with the help of structural and non-structural measures. Okay, so I already told you the climate problem. So nowadays climate condition is going worse in terms of groundwater recharge, right? So it means what? Timing for rainfall is small and period of rainfall is small, and the intensity of rainfall is quite high. Okay, so within a small time, huge amount of rainfall is taking place. So because of this, lots of water is going waste, okay, as a surface. So one of the very basic thing, we should stop this runoff, or we should make some dam. We should understand in which direction this surface runoff and subsurface runoff is taking place, and we should make some dam. Okay, and then it will help to store water for a long time. This natural rainfall water, it will store for a long, right? So that percolation can take place with time. There are other number of situations are there where we can plan for artificial recharge. One by one, we will discuss about that. So, and subsurface method, percolation on tanks, flooding, steam augmentation, ditch system, and contour bunds. These are the main surface method. And subsurface method, recharge wells, dug wells, pits, and shafts. Okay, these are subsurface methods. So one by one, we will try to understand what are these. So this is a percolation tank. Okay, that is a very, you know very well what is a percolation tank. So percolation pond also. For example, if you have idea where this runoff is taking place, then you can make one dam as well. For example, if you have, this is a I mean higher slope side, and this is a lower slope side. In between there is a one pond you can make a structure, and also one dam as well, so that the maximum amount of water you can store over the area. Okay, so one side already you have hill, so if you are making one dam, and the other side whatever the highest elevation of the hill, based on that, then up to that height you can store water, okay, rainfall water, and slowly it will go inside the subsurface, right? So for that you need to understand from the slope what is the actual direction. Okay, so it looks very simple, but you need to understand what is the actual direction where the maximum runoff is taking place. Okay, as well as you need to understand where the percolation or hydraulic conductivity of the water is of this formation is maximum. Okay, maybe in the other side it could be hard rock, or maybe in the other side it could be a soft or weathered formation. So you need to find out, okay, where you need to plan for such kind of tank. It's not like you just seeing over the surface you can plan for a tank, but unfortunately it could be the possible situation that within the surface the formation is completely hard rock, then your all hard work is going to be waste. Okay, so you need to think about that. So component of groundwater recharge. So this is a the percolation tank. Okay, and the percolation tank, if it's a hilly area you can plan like that, first one, and if it's a plain area, okay, so you can think like that. Okay, just simple one pond you can make, and so that water could move. Okay, and even small pond we should make at our home as well. For example, we know rainwater harvesting. What is rainwater harvesting? We need to collect water over the roof, and then we make use one pipe so that it could directly, that pipe we can send below the surface. Okay, or sometime what happened, because the percolation rate is quite low, right? So it's quite possible that the infiltration will take very slowly, and so that water will not move very fast through that pipe. Okay, and water logging over the surface of the roof will take place. If you are happy, if you know that there is no damage or no problem, if there is a water logging on your roof, okay, then it's okay. But sometimes it's not good for our house if we are planning for water logging over the surface, because it takes time to move water, because percolation rate is commonly very slow. So then we can think about to make some local pond, so that the whatever the water is storing over the roof, that can store in that pond, and slowly water can move from that pond to the subsurface. Okay. So there were many groundwater recharge movement in India in past, right? In present, there are various government and non-government bodies who are researching in this area and working with their best competitive uh, to design effective solutions. Okay, but the problem is that there are lots of NGOs are there, they are working, but the problem is that most of the people are economists and management background, they are not hydrogeologists. So still we are facing this water mining problem, right? So we are not reaching that competency. Okay, so if you want to reach that part, so you need to know how your subsurface formation is behaving. Hydrogeologists should go forward for such kind of investigation. Okay, otherwise there is no use. Okay, so direct method percolation tank already we have discussed. That is a series of earthen dams are constructed on suitable site for storing of adequate quantity of surface water. This is one, for example, this one. Okay, first picture. Or water infiltration through the bed of tanks and reach the groundwater table. The second example. Okay. So it is very effective in alluvial as well as hard rock area. But alluvial, it's okay. You can plan for a tank in an area. It's going to affect a very, very large area because alluvial aquifers are large. Okay, but in hard rock area, we need to do huge amount of investigations. Okay, if there is a fractures are present, of if there is a weathered formation are present, what is the depth of weathered formation, if fractures are present, then they are well connected or not. Okay, so that good amount of water could go inside the subsurface, percolate the subsurface, as well as they can store for a long time. Okay, actually our aim is to improve the storage. Okay. So other method is artificial recharge by flooding spreading. Okay, so if that is a alluvial plain, okay, plain area, and you have idea this flooding is a very common procedure at that area. Okay, so in that case you can for uh, that artificial recharge by flood water spreading, right? So you can make if you have idea that okay, Bihar is very, very Assam is also Bihar. These are all very, very vulnerable area in terms of flooding. So we should uh, plan some this artificial recharge in that area. Okay, for that what we need to do, for example, flood water will spread over the system, complete system. Okay, so I told you whenever there is a flood water, it also contains lots of small particles, right? So what we can do, we can uh, make some dams, right? So that we can distribute that water over the area, and also some channels, for example, canal kind of structure. These are the canal kind, so that it can direct water. For example, this in this picture, this is so that it can direct water to some lowland areas, some sedimentation tanks like that. Okay, so all water will move to the sediment tank. Then what is the advantage of that? Uh, it would be easy for people to clean that flooding area, so that clogged particles should not be there. Also, you can make some this is artificial tanks, right? You can put some filter kind of structure there so that you can clean that part also. There's clogging should not take place, and maximum recharge could take place. Okay, and the water from all over the area will move to that area, so that other part will be free very within a very short time. And this part we can, because we are making this deep, this tank like structure, so artificially we can fix some cleaning element, for example filter or something, so that we can clean it very within a time interval, so that recharge could take place. Okay, so this is a flood water spreading technique. Okay, that is also very effective. Stream augmentation. So what is stream augmentation? So one concept is nowadays very, very if you see water resource research, that is a AGU publication, right? AGU publication means American Geophysical Union publication. Okay, you will find there is a huge number of paper they are publishing. I mean, Americans are publishing for phreatic zone. Phreatic zone is what? Phreatic zone is uh, that is a in between interface zone between surface water and groundwater. These zones are very, very important because the recharge in terms of hydrogeology, recharge is taking place in in this zone mainly. So if this zone is quite active, right, then the recharge from the stream will be quite good, right? So seepage from the natural stream or rivers is artificial increase by putting some series of check dams across the river or streams. okay, so that water can accumulate over there and it get time to move subsurface. That's why we can make dams. Otherwise, what happen if it is a very hilly stream, then water will move very fast and it will not get good amount of recharge water. Okay, the rate of flow, this phreatic zone is affected. There are lots of already research already done. Okay, phreatic zone is affected by the movement, the speed of the water as well. Okay, so if there is a very large speed of the water, then that water is not going to infiltrate with it through that area. Okay, so for that we need to put some dams so that it can stay for a longer time and water can move down slowly. Okay, the sites for the check dam should have sufficient thickness of permeable bed to allow quick recharging the stored water, right? Ditch. So this is a very common technique for artificial recharge where the topographic elevations are there. Okay, if it's not an alluvial plain but plain area. Okay, so if topographic problems are there, then a ditch you can plan for that, such kind of artificial recharge. This picture is quite hazy. I will change this picture. Okay, so this technique consists of a system of a shallow flat bottoms and closely spaced ditch. Okay, so that the water it can carry. Okay, this is actually behavior of these ditches are very similar to the streams. Streams are the natural things. Okay, but ditch is not natural. We need to make it. Okay, streams are very long channels, but dips are not that much long channel. This is kind of canal structures. Okay, so that percolation should be high. This is artificial made channels. Okay, next are subsurface. What's the time now? So already time is over. So rest of the phenomena we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. Subsurface methods are there. What are left? Surface methods are there. A little bit indirect method I will introduce, and other techniques for other things about the artificial recharge also. Okay, so maximum 3 more lectures are there. Okay, almost your course is over. Any question? Do you have any question?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, this is a simple topic. So 3 more lectures are there. Next week there is a no class. Okay, after that 2 more classes are there. 2 or 1, I don't know. Whatever the finish. If I could able to finish that, then 1 or 2 classes are there. After that, I will give you assignment and you need to submit it within a week. Okay, so that I can give marks. Okay.
Okay.